Hey, what is up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my WWE NXT review for June 14th, 2017. And this will be it. This is the final NXT review that I have to do, and then I will officially be all caught up with NXT, which I'm pretty damn happy about, actually. Um, it's just taking me a while to actually catch up with NXT because I've had to do the Retro Wrestling Review Series for the NXT specials. Then I had to watch like all the NXTs. I had to watch the United Kingdom Championship special. Then I had to watch all the NXT, like NXT TakeOver Chicago and all the NXTs following that. But this will be it. I'll officially be caught up with NXT. And then after this, I want to try to watch it live every Wednesday and review it every Wednesday so I'm not behind on it. And I guarantee you that is a promise. But let's start off and let's just finish talking about this one. So in this episode of NXT, we have two matches to look forward to. Drew McIntyre is going to be having a match on the show. I'm looking forward to that because I'm looking forward to seeing Drew McIntyre. He's extremely talented, and you know I still can't believe he's back in WWE and back in NXT. So I'm happy about that. And then we have a triple threat elimination match for the NXT Women's Championship between Asuka, Ruby Riott, and Nikki Cross. I'm sort of looking forward to that match, but I didn't really care much for the match at NXT TakeOver Chicago, and I don't really know why they're having a rematch if Asuka beat them at NXT TakeOver Chicago. Really hasn't been explained. But yeah, that match, I mean, I didn't hate the match. I thought it was an average match. But yeah, now that it's an elimination, maybe the match will be a little bit better. So we're going to have to wait and see on that. Hopefully they can just get like Nikki Cross out of the match like immediately, and then Ruby Riott and Asuka can just go tear the house down, but we're going to have to wait and see. But yeah, those are the match. That's the stuff that I know as of right now that's going to be in this episode of NXT, and it actually looks like a decent episode, but we're going to have to wait and see. But now that I've talked about it, let's get right into the review. And I'm going to structure my review as after each match or segment, I'll come on here and talk about it. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so we had the actual show itself. Weird thing is I can't seem to watch it on the network for some reason. I don't know why, so I have to watch it on Daily Motion. But we have Percy Watson, Tom Phillips, and Nigel McGuinness on commentary for this show. And we had the first match. It was Drew McIntyre versus Rob Risen. Drew McIntyre starts off this match. He obliterates Rob Risen. He beats the crap out of him. He hits a big boot on him. He hits a belly throw. Rob Risen takes out his knee, hits a super kick on him, covers him. McIntyre kicks out at one. And that's pretty much Rob Risen's only offense. McIntyre murders him throughout the rest of the matchup. He hits a wicked suplex throw on him. He pushes him on the outside, throws him in the ring, and then he hits the single leg Akuzi kick for the win. And then that was it. I thought this was good. Made McIntyre look dominant. They need to start getting McIntyre in feuds and stuff, though, because as much as I like to see him come out and wrestle and stuff, I would like to see him actually be doing something in NXT. And I hope that's eventually where they go. But overall, I thought this was fine. Okay, so next we had a video package for Alistair Black, and I thought it was great. It pretty much shows his entire NXT run and everything that he's done, and the way they did this video package I thought was perfect. If anything, I would like to see Alistair Black feud with Drew McIntyre. I think that would be a decent feud. We just have to find like an established heel, maybe. But so, I don't think you really would need to thinking about it, because Alistair Black, he even says in his thing that he's not a sinner, which means he's not a face or a heel. So I think you could actually work with that, because I like to see, because I think they could have an actually decent matchup with each other, but we'd have to wait and see. But overall, I enjoyed this video package of Alistair Black. Okay, so we had the next match. It was the Authors of Pain with Paul Ellering ringside versus Anthony Dominguez and Wilmer Friede. So pretty much what happens in this match is Akam starts off the match, and Razal and Paul Ellering have a conversation while Akam just destroys these guys, and that's pretty much what happened. He takes Free Day and he just tosses him right out of the ring, over the top rope, right onto the metal stage, and then the ramp, and then he picks up Dominguez on his shoulders and just drops him and covers him and gets the victory. And afterwards, Rizal puts Free Day in the win, and they hit the Super Collider. Both the Authors of Pain hits the Super Collider on both men, and then afterwards, Paul Ellering cuts a promo talking about how Heavy Machinery is as foolish as the big, well, large, he says, to think that they can take out the Authors of Pain. They talk about how they, he's like, have you not read the book of Pain? And then he says that now that they're starting a new book called the Book of Dominance, they're not even going to be the footnote in that book. And they talk about how they've beaten all the tag teams ever, and then Heavy Machinery come out, and they have a face-off with the Authors of Pain, but Paul Ellering holds them back. And I actually kind of can't wait for this. You know, these are two big tag teams, and we haven't really seen like two big tag teams go at it. It's always like the indie tag teams and stuff. So I think I'm actually kind of looking forward to seeing a Heavy Machinery Authors of Pain feud. I don't know if they could be jumping into this too soon, but they really don't have a choice because Heavy Machinery is really the only tag team they have that could really stand a chance against the Authors of Pain. So I don't know. Because obviously I don't expect Heavy Machinery to take the championships from them, so I don't know who else could go up against the Authors of Pain. That's kind of a problem that NXT has, but we're going to have to wait and see. But overall, I enjoyed this. I like that they made, you know, the Authors of Pain not only look like a dominant tag team, but they also made them, each individual look dominant by having Akam just wrestle the match on his own and just destroy his opponent. So I liked that, and I also liked, you know, that they're building up an Authors of Pain Heavy Machinery feud. So I thought this was good. Okay, so next we had a Sonya Deville video package, and pretty much it talks about, you know, everything that she's done in NXT. You know, how she's an MMA star, and you know, she talks about how she didn't choose to do this. She asked for this. She grew up beating people up, and it shows her like punching out the camera and stuff. Her training in the gym and her whole run down in NXT, and it pretty much announces that she's gonna be on NXT next week. So I guess that's fine. Sonya Deville is pretty average wrestler anyways. Maybe she'll get better, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, this video package I thought was fine. Next match was Will Mendoza versus the Velveteen Dream. Yeah, I still don't like the Velveteen Dream. It's a terrible gimmick. It's a different gimmick, but that doesn't make it good. Will Mendoza hits an enziguri. He goes to hit a springboard move off the middle rope, but the Velveteen Dream catches him into a big boot. He dominates the matchup for a while. Will Mendoza tries to mount a comeback, but the Velveteen Dream cuts him off and hits a cartwheel, Death Valley driver, and an elbow drop off the top turnbuckle for the win. The match wasn't bad, but I just really don't care about the Velveteen Dream, so that kind of ruins it for me. Okay, so next, Cassius Owen gets interviewed, and he talks about how he should not have shoved Hideo Itami last week, and he says that, you know, lately the friendship's been in a stern lately, but he apologizes for shoving him, and he said that Hideo Itami isn't a bad guy, he just is stuck in this frustration mode, but what he needs to do is build a bridge and get over it. And then he says he's going to lead by example because he spoke to William Regal earlier, and next week he has a match with Alistair Black. Kind of can't wait for that match because now Alistair Black's going to actually face an actual name in NXT. So I think that could be decent. And I know I talked a lot about crap about how Cassius Owen was like not in shape and stuff, and I still feel that way. He just needs to look himself better. But one thing he could definitely deliver is he could definitely deliver on the mic, and he's actually pretty decent in the ring. They just need to get him some new ring attire. He needs to drop a few pounds, and then we're good. Okay, so next it shows a video package for Ember Moon hyping up her return. It shows everything she did in NXT. You know, her getting injured by Asuka and then her returning. I can't wait to see Ember Moon come back next week because, yeah, I'm happy about it. I think she's great and I can't wait to see her come back. Okay, so then we had the main event. It was a triple threat elimination match for the NXT Women's Championship. NXT Women's Champion Asuka versus Nikki Cross versus Ruby Riott. And Nikki Cross just appears out of the audience and shows up, which I kind of liked, but I still don't like Nikki Cross. But I did like that she didn't really have like a full entrance. And, you know, the match starts off. Nikki Cross just shoves Ruby Riott and Asuka and Nikki Cross have a face-off. They stop brawling with each other. Ruby Riott hit the drop kick, and the match, you know, spills into chaos. Ruby Riott and Asuka gets the better of both women, and she starts gloating about how she's the champion. She even laid out like Ruby Riott with a drop kick, and then Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross work together. They double clothesline Asuka out of the ring, which she messes up, so they have to just dump her out of there. And then Ruby Riott starts to take out Nikki Cross. Asuka tries to come to, but she gets knocked down. And then the match continues. Ruby Riott starts taking hits head scissors into the corner and a double knees in the corner. She hits a crossbody on Asuka. Asuka hits a suplex, a hip attack, and she hits a big kick to the head. Nikki Cross hits a reverse DDT in the ring, and then Ruby Riott hits a double drop kick, and Ruby Riott covers Nikki Cross, but Asuka tries to kick her in the head, but Ruby Riott gets her into an ankle lock, and then eventually Ruby Riott gets eliminated with a swinging neck breaker off this top rope, and Ruby Riott's eliminated, which was stupid. I mean, I didn't mind that she was eliminated, but the fact that Nikki Cross wasn't eliminated first was dumb. So then Nikki Cross and Asuka get into an exchange. Asuka kicks her in the head. Eventually, Ruby Riott tosses Asuka on the outside. They both stop brawling eventually, and then Asuka throws Ruby Riott back first into like the stage area, and they both brawl to the back, and then the referee stops the match. Even though it's a triple threat match, it can't be counted out and you can't be disqualified. He stopped the match because they fought to the back. Dumb finish. I didn't like that finish. I would have been like, okay, maybe they was running out of time, but there was still maybe like 5 to 7 more minutes. This match totally could have continued. It's a triple threat match with no disqualifications. And the referee is stopping a triple threat elimination match. How do you have an elimination match where you don't have a winner? And especially if there's no disqualifications, there's no countouts. It was just dumb. But they continue fighting. Asuka throws Nikki Cross like into a fence backstage. It's what it looked like. And then Nikki Cross throws Asuka back first into like the steel grating area. And then Asuka fights back. She bounces Nikki Cross's head to the back and into the back of the steel grating. And then they continue brawling. Asuka bounces Nikki Cross's head 3 times on a cooler, and then she goes to and she opens it. She tries to, I guess, drown Nikki Cross in water, but Nikki Cross reverses it and drowns Asuka in water. They fight back to the arena. Asuka bounces Nikki Cross's head on the announcer's table, and they continue fighting. They fight to the technical area, and then there's fight on like top of the barricade where Asuka I thought was gonna fall off, and then Nikki Cross hits like a crossbody on Asuka, and they both go through a table, and then NXT General Manager William Regal has to come out and check on everybody, and everyone has to like get a medical attention. So yeah, the brawl I didn't mind too much. I guess it wasn't bad. It's just the finish. Like, why did they call it? Why did the referee stop the match if it's a triple threat match with no disqualifications? Like, now they have to have a match next week, but they don't really need to have a match next week because the referee stopped the match because it was a because why? It didn't make any sense. It was I just thought that was stupid. The match was, I actually think that kind of ruined the match. So I'm gonna say this match probably was just alright because the match actually I was enjoying pretty much. It was actually better than the NXT Takeover Chicago match, but once the referee like did that whole bullshit where we stopped the matches because they fought backstage. Even though there's been triple threat matches before where you fight backstage and the match doesn't get so, it was just dumb. The match just has no disqualifications and no countouts, and the referee stopping it. That was stupid. Yeah, so overall, I thought this was dumb. Okay, so let me give you my star ratings for each match, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts on the show itself. For the Drew McIntyre Rob Bryson match, I'll probably give that match probably 1.5 stars. Probably 2 stars. No, maybe 1.5, just because it was really a squash, but he did a good job of putting over Drew McIntyre. The match itself really wasn't all that bad. For the tag team match on this show, I'll probably give that match 1.25 for the same reason. For the Patrick Clark match, probably give that match 1 star. Actually, I'm gonna change my star ratings probably. For the Drew McIntyre Rob Bryson match, I'll probably give that match 2.5 stars. And then for the tag team match, I'll probably give that match 2 stars. For the singles match, I'll give that match probably 1 star. And then for the triple threat match, I'll probably give that match 2 3/4. Overall, NXT I kind of thought was average this week. It's nothing that it was bad. Maybe slightly above average actually. It wasn't bad. I thought it was a decent episode. It had a lot of stuff I didn't really care for, like the fact that the main event didn't really have a finish, even though it's a triple threat match and it's supposed to have a finish. But I did like Drew McIntyre's match, and they made him look credible. I liked how they made the Authors of Pain look strong and how they're pushing the feud between the Authors of Pain and Heavy Machinery. I liked Alistair Black's video package. I liked Cassius Owen's promo on the show and them continuing to build up the Hideo Itami feud. What else was on the show? I don't really remember actually. Yeah, but I didn't really like the triple threat match. I didn't really like. It's not that I didn't like it. I just didn't like that they didn't have a finish. I didn't really like. Yeah, I didn't really like something else on the show. The Velveteen Dream match, obviously. And I didn't really like. There was a lot of. I think the bad kind of. But yeah, there was enough stuff to keep it like a decent show. If I had to rate it, I'll probably rate it a 6.5 out of 10. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please subscribe to my CM Brothers and I Want to Talk Native channel. Subscribe to this channel as well. And I'll probably try to make you another video for you guys tomorrow at some point. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.